Lando Norris celebrated his first Formula One victory at the Miami Grand Prix, but there's a huge twist. Even though everyone was happy for Norris, it turns out he might not have actually been the one who should have won. The FIA, which helps manage the races, made a big mistake that might have cost Max Verstappen the top spot. It all came down to some errors involving the safety car driven by Bernd Mayländer, and it became a confusing mix-up with big consequences. So, let's dive into this video today to know more about what really happened and why Norris's victory is now in question. During the race, on laps 28 and 29, Logan Sargeant and Kevin Magnussen crashed, which forced the safety car to come out. At that time, Norris was leading because, unlike Verstappen, he hadn't stopped for new tyres yet. Norris missed his chance to pit stop when the safety car came out because he realized too late what was happening. This mistake seemed like it would cost him the chance to gain an advantage from the safety car situation. Lando Norris earns first career F1 victory by ending Verstappen's dominance at Miami. Lando Norris has every reason to keep his celebrations more subdued after his first ever Formula One victory at the Miami Grand Prix. Despite his excitement, Norris showed he's not slowing down. He was thrilled after the race and shared, "Tonight's going to be a great time. I'm just really proud. A lot of people doubted me over the years. I've made many mistakes during my 5-year career, but today we got everything right, and this win is for the team. I started with McLaren because I believed in them, and today proved I was right." Norris achieved this milestone victory, his first in 110 races, after Max Verstappen made a critical error, ending his run of success at the circuit around Hard Rock Stadium. The joy of the win was palpable as the 24-year-old Norris ran down the pit lane to jump into the arms of his McLaren team. They celebrated by lifting him up and crowd surfing him to McLaren boss Zak Brown, who gave Norris a big bear hug. Norris came to the Miami Grand Prix with stitches on his nose, a souvenir from a celebration gone wrong in Amsterdam with DJ Martin Garrix during King's Day. Despite the mishap, Norris was ready to party all night after the race, joking, "I may have more than a bandage on my nose." During the race, Max Verstappen, who had won the previous day's sprint and started from pole position, was leading until he hit a chicane, displacing a cone on the track. This incident forced him to pit, allowing Norris to take the lead. Norris then took control of the race, securing McLaren's first victory since Daniel Ricciardo's win in 2021. Post-race, Ricciardo was among the drivers who congratulated Norris with a hug. Norris's win was also notable as he became the second British driver in F1 history to be celebrated on the podium with "God Save the King," following George Russell, who won in Brazil in 2022, 2 months after Queen Elizabeth's death. The song playing during the podium ceremony deeply moved Lando Norris. He closed his eyes and tilted his face upwards, smiling broadly. As the champagne celebration began, he found himself at the center of a fizzy attack, with runner-up Max Verstappen and third-place finisher Charles Leclerc spraying champagne right into his eyes. After clearing his vision, Norris energetically slammed his champagne bottle to the ground, creating a forceful spray to drench his McLaren team below the podium. In a moment of joy, he even tossed his trophy into the air but managed to catch it. With about 10 laps remaining in the race, Norris realized he was close to clinching the victory as his lead over Verstappen extended to 5 seconds. In disbelief, he radioed his team asking, "5 seconds, am I alive?" His team responded excitedly as McLaren celebrated a rare win, especially significant with new car upgrades. This victory marked McLaren's 13th in the United States, tying with Ferrari for the most wins in the country by a team, and was McLaren's first American victory since Lewis Hamilton's win at the Circuit of the Americas in 2012. Norris finished the race with a substantial lead of 7.6 seconds over Verstappen, who had previously dominated in Miami, winning the first 2 races and the sprint race the day before. Norris entered the race on Sunday with a strong feeling of confidence, believing he would finish the day on top of the podium. "Finally, I am so happy, I knew it. I knew it when I came in this morning," Norris said, feeling victorious before the race began. His confidence paid off as he nailed his performance, bringing McLaren its 3rd victory across different racing platforms in just 2 months: F1, Formula E and IndyCar. Norris's win was particularly notable as he became the first driver since Carlos Sainz Jr. to beat Max Verstappen this season, who had previously been forced out of a race in Melbourne due to a mechanical failure. Verstappen, having a philosophical take on his second-place finish, remarked, "You win, you lose. I think we're all a bit used to that in racing," and humorously added about the incident that caused him to pit. "I didn't like the cone, so I took it out and tested the front wing, so the crash test is done." Despite the setback, Verstappen was gracious, acknowledging Norris's victory. "I am happy for Lando. It's been a long time coming, and there's more to come from him." The event also had its share of celebrity presence, with former President Donald Trump visiting. Trump was seen engaging with F1 officials in the McLaren garage before making his way to the starting grid. His appearance energized the crowd, leading to chants of "USA, USA!" to which he responded with an approving fist pump. During the Miami Grand Prix, Ferrari's Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz clinched third and fourth places respectively, closely followed by Sergio Perez from Red Bull. Lewis Hamilton managed a sixth-place finish for Mercedes, while Yuki Tsunoda from Red Bull's junior team secured seventh. George Russell of Mercedes came in eighth, Fernando Alonso for Aston Martin, and Esteban Ocon from Alpine completed the top 10. Ocon performed well in front of team investors Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce from the Kansas City Chiefs. The race featured a pivotal moment about halfway through when Logan Sargeant, the only American driver on the F1 grid, crashed, prompting the safety car's deployment. This incident forced Sargeant out of his car and marked his second consecutive last-place finish in his home race. With his seat at Williams under scrutiny and rumors of potential replacement swirling, this added pressure to the young driver's performance. The crash significantly impacted the race's dynamics, giving McLaren, led by Lando Norris at the time, strategic control. Norris had already moved into the lead after Max Verstappen was compelled to pit due to hitting a chicane that dislodged a cone onto the track. Although Red Bull quickly checked for damage to Verstappen's front wing, the situation allowed McLaren to capitalize on the disruption. Meanwhile, another incident involving Kevin Magnussen and Sargeant shortly after Verstappen's pit stop further cemented McLaren's advantage. Magnussen's weekend was further marred by accusations of unsportsmanlike behavior during the preceding day's sprint race, rounding off a challenging event for the Haas driver. Mayländer made a big mistake. 12 seconds after the safety car was announced, Lando Norris crossed the start-finish line. Within 5 seconds, he reached the end of the pit lane, where he should have been caught by the safety car. However, Bernd Mayländer, the safety car driver, failed to catch Norris 17 seconds after the call from race control to deploy the safety car. Although 17 seconds should have been sufficient, there was a significant oversight. Mayländer then made a crucial error. Instead of waiting at the side of the track for Norris to pass by again at the start-finish, he mistakenly picked up Max Verstappen, who was running second at the time. This mistake forced Verstappen to slow down, while Norris was able to maintain a higher speed and still had the opportunity to make his pit stop. This misstep by the safety car driver became a pivotal moment in the race. Norris managed to stay ahead after his pit stop, equipped with brand new tyres, and resumed the race from the lead position once the safety car period ended. After racing resumed, Norris progressively extended his lead over Verstappen, securing a significant advantage that influenced the rest of the race. Norris is not to blame, and Norris's ability to pull away from Verstappen in the race's later stages was impressive. However, if the FIA had managed the safety car situation more effectively, Norris would not have been in the lead at the restart. Ideally, Norris would have been around 7th place at that time, and despite his speed, catching Verstappen would have been highly unlikely. Norris himself is not at fault. He maximized the opportunity presented to him, as any driver would. However, the FIA's handling of the situation was lacking, highlighted by a series of mistakes in just a couple of minutes, with safety car driver Bernd Mayländer at the center of the controversy. So, it raises questions. Was Mayländer not paying attention? Did he fail to recognize that Norris was leading the race? This significant oversight by the FIA led to substantial implications for the race outcome. What do you think of the danger Norris is in? Comment below and subscribe for more.